Today I want to talk a little bit about using Zoom video conferencing to capture good quality audio for your podcasts and your video production projects. You've no doubt heard of Zoom. You've probably been using it regularly through 2020, through the whole COVID crisis. And a lot of people who do podcasts or who do YouTube work have had to conduct their interviews online. However, the default settings that Zoom comes with for its audio capture results in this highly compressed, tinny sounding audio feed that is downright unusable for real production efforts. However, there is a solution, and you don't have to do anything fancy, splitting your local audio feed, double capturing it, anything like that. You can actually do it within Zoom itself. Let's have a look at some of Zoom's advanced settings. So if you're in your Zoom account and you go into configuration, you'll see two important settings I want you to look at. One is under audio, you've got a number of different options here. One is your background noise suppression. If you want Zoom to do as little as possible in terms of modifying your audio, I would switch that to low to be safe. And then under advanced settings here, you will see this checkbox, which is normally off. Show in-meeting option to enable original sound for microphone. When you're actually in a session and you have this enabled, you'll see an additional button in the upper left corner of your screen, which allows you to enable or disable the original sound from the microphone. When it's enabled, it appears to be capturing the full depth and resolution of the microphone, the original sampled audio, directly into your saved recording when you're recording a Zoom session. And the quality is night and day difference. I also bring echo cancellation to its lowest level. And one more setting here under recording I like to do is this one here. Record a separate audio file for each participant who speaks. Normally, when you do a Zoom video recording, you get two files. You get a full video and audio capture of the entire Zoom recording, and you get an audio only version of it. When you tick this, you also get a separate audio file for each individual speaker. And this is fantastic to work with. Let's have a look at what this looks like when you bring it into Adobe Audition. What you're seeing here, this very topmost item, this top green one, this is the video, and this is the audio attached to that video. I have turned on capture original microphone audio, and therefore you can see that that file as well as the audio only are both good waveforms. They've got a nice range. You can see lots of detail. They're not compressed or crunched down like you'd normally see from a phone recording. And they look identical, which is great to see. That's what I would expect to see, that it hasn't done any weird modifications. Below that, these bottom two audios are the split tracks. In a recording where I had two different people doing a podcast session, I can see speaker A and speaker B, and there is essentially no background noise or overlap between them. Now this is fantastic, and this is the way typically, if you're trying to produce a professional final quality recording, this is typically how you'd want to work with it. The reason is that there is always a need to do slight adjustments to the volume level of one of the speakers or another one of the speakers so that the volume levels are comparable. If you've ever done a podcast interview with someone who speaks much more quietly than you do, you know that this makes it very, very difficult. You can't crank up the volume without also increasing the volume of your voice. So things like microphone placement and post-editing games becomes a real challenge. Here, since each speaker is completely separate, I can easily increase the gain on one of the channels alone and get all of the volume adjustment that I need. I can also do things such as reduce background noise from just one of the speaker's microphones. So if I'm interviewing Bob and Bob has a computer fan in the background, I can apply filters directly to Bob's audio without messing with any of the other speakers' audio streams. And I think that this is by far the best way to go. So I wanted to make certain that you're aware of those settings. I highly encourage you to turn them on. Definitely plan for a little bit of post-processing work. I much prefer Adobe Audition, but there are many, many others. On the PC, there is Audacity, you've got GarageBand, and there are many, many different solutions. Get familiar with a product. Anything that lets you do a bit of multi-track editing and some very simple filter applications, some noise removal to control basic cutting and splicing, and you will be able to create a professional sounding podcast in no time.